So the Knicks are an amazing example of cosmic energy, fate, destiny, and how it kind of all works together. Because he has changed the energy of New York, because he has brought the light back to New York, because he has kept his word, because he is a good soul, because he is a light among all of the dark politicians that a lot of y'all voted in. We are seeing the turnaround and the energy vibe through the city in ways of success that prove that energy is everything. When you have the right energy in charge, when you have the right guide and the right leader that has the right soul to guide you on the way that you need to go to make this a good human experience, then you see the wins along the way. And the Knicks are a perfect freaking example of that. This whole time that they've had bad mayors, corruption, Trump, Giuliani, Eric Adams, their little perp walk with Luigi, the corporations and the rich dragging down the city. All of it. All of it. And he flipped the fucking script. And everything started to get better across the board. Even snowstorms and blizzards. See, Mama Dami isn't just the answer for the world as a human, because this doesn't rely on one person, but he is a beacon. He is a message. He is a premonition of the future we will have. When I say things get better and that the right leader changes everything across the board, better things get built, other things get casted away, truths get exposed, it's because we put people like Mama Dami in charge. There is never going to be a perfect human being. There's never going to be a human being that's going to fit every single box that it us, because it's not supposed to be like that. But if anything, Mom Donnie is a perfect example of how the right energy, the right leaders will change the world. It's a prime example of when you follow the right morals of humanity, that when your soul is on the right side, that when you're fighting against injustices, that when you are awake and can see the reality of your present and you choose a side, that dictates success as well. And a good example of that is how the Chiefs fumbled the Super Bowl. And the cards read that they were going to fumble the Super Bowl because of conflict within the team, which we already knew. They were on different political sides. They had famous relationships. They had MAGA players. They was out there, dumpy pumps pants. Like, yeah, like, and karma reaped on that ass. Exactly like the cards were predicted. That's how I've been able to accurately predict the Super Bowl for 2 years in a motherfucking row, baby. Because I don't just look for the answer. I look for what's going on behind the scenes before it even takes me to the answer. But it's a good example of how the other cards that I read in August of 2024, yes, that long ago, almost 2 years, and I said anyone that follows MAGA is fated to suffer. That doesn't just mean politicians. That doesn't just mean Cancer Throat Bondi. That means anybody who chooses to die on that hill will reap what comes with it, and all the bad luck and bad fortune. What I can say is that I enjoyed that interview that Don't Be Pump walked out of. Not just because he had an all out meltdown over questions that he couldn't answer, that he refused to answer, that you could see him start to get flustered and confused. But I paid attention to the end where he had to push himself up in a certain way, struggled, stayed hunched over, almost tripped on his feet a little bit as he was walking towards somebody, which I can only assume is the caregiver. And it showed just how close we are to the end of his tower. Man, did I fucking enjoy that shit. I think I replayed that shit 50, 11 times. We know he has dementia. We know his health is failing. We watch him take naps during meetings on live TV. We've noticed that he can only be in a seated position when he's on camera because he cannot stand for that long. We've noticed that they don't allow cameras to watch him come in, sit down, and get up. We can tell when he's having a really bad day. We can tell when he's having a really good day. But lately, he's been having way more bad days than good days. They think we don't notice, but we do, and they keep trying to cover it up. And the people that they have fired from 60 Minutes are the biggest whistleblowers coming out right now saying the people that they put in charge of these television networks, these Ellisons, these Weisses, they said, you're going to sell the American public on national news a false narrative and be pro-Trump. And these people fought against it and fought against it and fought against it until we're here. We already knew they were doing this. Look at Fox News. They've been doing this since 2016. They know that they have to control the media. They know they have to control the military. They know they have to control everyone in the government and in the House and in the Senate. They know if they don't have complete control across the board from Supreme Court all the way down to the janitors in the White House, they are fucked. And they figured this out during 2016 because remember, all of this stuff was supposed to happen between 2020 and 2024. But the collective, we pushed it off. We fought against it. They didn't have Elon on their side and lasers and all kinds of other crazy shit that baby mamas have come out with and they've admitted themselves. And that's why they keep kind of forcing this narrative right now, in case for any reason Elon backs out, they get fucked, something doesn't work, they can scream rigged election. But the reason they're screaming it so loud is because they always scream the loudest on the shit they're doing themselves. We know this. It's got to be like a man thing. It's got to be a cis male thing. Y'all just lie to lie. Now, personally, I still think there's something big that's going to go down at that UFC fight. They keep pushing this ballroom shit. They keep pushing all this shit. It doesn't make any sense for them to keep screaming it and then throw an event like this there. But there's always reasons behind this. There's a reason there's a certain look for the audience. There's a reason that it's going to be filmed from all angles. There's a reason that it is the way that it is. And that's because I believe all of it's a production from beginning to end, from arrival to whatever they're planning to who wins the fight. All of it. It is planned from beginning to end. Nothing that you will see on that night will be by chance. It is a production even down to the audience. As far as the screw worm and Iran and Australia and all that other shit, I told y'all there'd be supply issues. I told y'all to stock up on food. I told y'all to stock your freezers. I told you to get dry goods. I told you to grow a garden because our shit would be poison. I've been telling y'all for years to prepare for these moments right here. Because you heard what the person in control of all that, like the agricultural general or whatever, the state of secretary of agriculture got up there and said, well, I don't think that the farmers should be telling the government when they find a screw worm because they're just going to shut down their farm and quarantine their cattle and they're going to lose their farms. We're at the point where the farmers don't trust the governments, so they're going to try to deal with the problem itself because the department that deals with the problem was shut down by Doge. Again, they're like, oh, this is Biden's fault. No, this is Musk's fault, this is Dumpy Pants' fault, this is Miller's fault. And it was all, like, I'm not saying they knew about the worm, but they wanted the downfall of that industry anyway because they couldn't control it the way they needed to. And the people need less resources. They need less medical, less food. We need to get angry. We need to be hungry. Because hungry people will become desperate and they'll fall in line. So while we continue to watch their horrific bullshit, we can still enjoy the show of an old man about to fall flat on his face, have an event on camera, be removed, watch his entire empire fall. Yay!